Can my dog actually be anxious? Like people are anxious? Yes. The simple answer is yes. Absolutely, your dog can be anxious. My dog is an anxious dog, and I've had multiple clients with anxious dogs. And I'm going to tell you exactly what anxiety looks like and why your dog may be experiencing anxiety and why you should care. And also, of course, how to take care of it in general. So, how do I know if my dog has anxiety? Well, an anxious dog will not be comfortable in their own skin. So, they will be very, very fearful, probably hiding or running away or barking and lounging a lot to maybe very simple things like loud noises or just noises in general. People, strangers, but also people who care for them, people whom they might know. They might not like to be touched. They might shy away from any sort of interaction with maybe other dogs or other animals as well. They may be fearful of cars, of movement in general, so not necessarily just outside the house, also inside the house. They will certainly not be enjoying life, and it will show in everyday life. In general, all dogs can experience some sort of fears of the things that I mentioned, dogs, people, cars, noises, movement. But anxious dogs will show a combination of these fears. So it's not just going to be one fear, it's going to show in different aspects of life. And if I can give you some body language signals to look for so that you can decode whether your dog is anxious or not toward a certain thing or in general, they tend to be very alert. And alert looks like whale eyes, like this, like when they have like the stare, like the looking around and like you can see the white of their eyes. They can be yawning a lot and like lip licking a lot. So licking, yeah, their lips, shaking, shivering even. They will definitely probably like run away and maybe spook bark or bark excessively, like bark with their own, like their whole body. You will see a very strong reaction, like will with the barking, you will be very, very visible that they are in panic mode. They can also just shut down or freeze, that's kind of the response. So why should you care? Of course, like this whole thing makes it very, very difficult for your dog to live in the human world, but in general, in a world that was not built for them. So there are different ways we can take care of this, and we'll go into them right now. The number one thing, of course, is desensitization training. I'm not sure I said it correctly, but you know what I mean. So desensitizing your dog to these like loud noises or sounds in general, or people, or other dogs, or again the car, anything like that. I don't know if you've ever done it or heard of it, but it's very, very easy in the sense, well, it's not easy, it's going to take a while, but what you're going to do is basically associate a good thing to whatever noise, whatever sound, whatever, trigger they have. And this is done through treats. Of course, you're probably going to need, without the probably, you're going to need high value treats. So cheese, meat, like something that they really, really like. Depending on your dog, it's going to be different. And of course, also toys or anything that they might like. My dog loves tug of war, and tug of war is a huge thing when we're dealing with like strangers outside. If we're at the park, it's a good, reinforcement, positive reinforcement for her. But it really depends on your dog. But let's say food is across the board the easiest and most common for dogs. So I would say you will need high value treats, and in you will expose your dog to whatever trigger they have little by little. So like small increments of exposure from a distance without like, if it's noises without it being really loud. So you might have to record whatever noise it is that they're triggered by, and you will play for them at very, very low levels and then slowly increasing. It really depends on the triggers that your dog is triggered by, but this is a general understanding of like a general explanation of desensitization training. Unfortunately, anxious dogs are very, very stressed, and due to this stress, due to anxiety, of course, they're not very good learners in the sense that it's very, very hard for them to learn. Imagine if you are in a panic room, or if you're in one of those like scary houses that they build, like sometimes in luna parks, or like in fun parks, you're in it, it's very dark, and people show up out of nowhere, and you have these frights, like you have these like crazy moments where you're like, oh my god. Imagine if in that moment someone asked you to learn German, or someone asks you to learn a new language that you don't know, if you're not German, if you don't know German. Like, I'm learning German, that's why I'm thinking about this. But anyways, this is kind of what we're asking the dog to do in an anxious state, and that is why we have behavioral medications. Behavioral medication is a topic that is quite dear to me, as actually starting this week, my dog will be on behavioral medication. By behavioral medication, we mean anti-anxiety meds such as Prozac. Prozac is the most common, I would say. I had other clients who were on, other clients' dogs who were on Prozac. Is fluoxetine, if I'm not, if I'm correct, but I think I'm correct. And in general, it's not the only one. There's many others. And you should always, always consult first a dog trainer who's also a behaviorist like me, or and a veterinary, like a vet, veterinary. Yes. Sorry, my Italian accent sometimes. Anyways, this is definitely the combo that you should have before giving any meds to your dog. Because the meds don't do much by themselves. You will need a behavioral training program, like a desensitization program or plan, which will go along, or like accompany which will go together with the meds. Otherwise, the meds alone will only lower your dog's anxiety levels, but your dog is not learning anything, so you're basically not making full use of the meds. I'm not a vet, so I cannot give you advice in any way. I do have my own vet. I did make sure that he knew about this kind of stuff, so please do check their credentials, whether it's actually for sure, if it's a dog trainer, check their credentials, check their certifications. I am certified in this. I'm a behaviorist. I'm certified in animal behavior. I keep up with every single, news and new things about animal behavior. So always make sure that your dog trainer is a positive reinforcement dog trainer, and B, they are certified or have some experience or credentials regarding behavioral modifications in dogs. It's not the same as teaching your dog how to recall or how to walk nicely on the leash. It's very different. So what I'm saying is just there are many of us out there. So please actually DM me if you need one in your area. I will help you find, I will help you find a good dog behaviorist in your area if you want to. Anyways, always have the combo dog behaviorist and dog trainer behaviorist and vet, both accredited professionals that can help you decide whether your dog needs meds, which med your dog might need, and for how long your dog will be on those meds, because it's going to be an ongoing thing, right? You're going to call these professionals multiple times over the month, and you're going to see how it's going, if it's going well, if it's not going well, if anything is happening. So make sure you have those professionals at your at your disposal, I guess. Be patient. It's going to take time. Ivy just went on the meds, so I do not expect anything to happen for at least a month. Maybe after a month, I will see her lowering a little bit her stress levels. Right now, we're working on desensitizing her to the car, and I see exactly why now that she does not take meds yet, or like she just started, it's really kind of impossible for her to learn. She's in that panic mode, and we've been working on it for 6 months just to make you understand. But anyways, with the meds, I expect her to be more open to learning to the desensitization, and I will actually, of course, like take videos of each and every single one of these things, and my journey is already like posted on my social media, and I will update you guys on all of the journey also with the meds. So what I'm saying is be patient. It's going to take time. Not sure if you care, but some breeds are more inclined to anxiety than other breeds. That being said, a dog can become anxious throughout their lives, even if they were, you got them as a puppy, because it really depends on their environment. It really depends on certain experiences and traumas that they might have. And it's not your fault, but it's exposure to certain things that might trigger them, and you cannot prevent them all. So don't even think about it now. What I'm saying is, if your dog became anxious during their lifetime, don't worry, it's normal. If you are thinking, oh, I want to get a dog, which dog should I get? There's definitely some breeds that might be more inclined to anxiety, such as border collies, because they were bred to be very, very aware of every movement, because they would herd sheeps, right? So they would have to be very, very aware if a sheep was about to move in a certain way, so that they could, bring them back there. And they're also taking care of a whole, bunch of sheeps. So of course, they had to be very, very, they have to be very, very aware of like movement, and that's why they might be more anxious. They might be more, prone to show fear towards cars or towards strangers and people, or touch in general. So just saying, but I have seen labradoodles being very, very anxious. So doesn't really matter the breeds. Actually, another thing that matters, again, it's been researched, and I'm going to link the research down below. But it's been researched and found that mothers can pass on through genetics some of these anxiety to their puppies, especially if they've been traumatized, or like if they've experienced traumas during pregnancy. That is shown to be really like passed on to their puppies. But also, if they have shown their puppies anxious behavior during their first few weeks of, um, of since birth. And it's also been shown that the way mothers care for their offspring, so like if they are very, caring, and they will, be present, let's say, for their puppies, that will make for more resilient puppies. Instead, the opposite has also been shown. If a mother doesn't care for their puppies, and doesn't really show much, motherly care, let's say, their puppies will tend to be more anxious. That being said, this is not exact science. This has been shown, of course, in the majority. It does not mean you will be able to choose a very resilient puppy. As much as you would want to choose the most resilient puppy or the most resilient dog, it might change throughout their lifetime. So don't obsess over it. Definitely, if you want a bred puppy, and not a rescue puppy, definitely look for a very ethical breeder, a breeder that cares about this stuff, a breeder that can show you that they have taken the right steps, let's say, while the puppy was growing in the first few weeks, that they took like good care of their mother, so the mother didn't pass on any anxiety through the genes, like because of anxiety during pregnancy. But other than that, it's not a predictable. It's unfortunately, there is no way to predict this. And I can say, as an experienced dog trainer for rescues, that a lot of rescued puppies will be very resilient. So it doesn't really matter, like, it does matter to an extent, but again, not an exact science. And you can get very, very, very resilient dogs from rescues or rescue places. Absolutely. I've had clients who have mild behavioral issues, like very mild, like excessive barking for attention or something like that. And their puppy was found on the streets somewhere in Greece. Anyways, so it doesn't really matter. You will not behave. You will not be able to predict this. So good thing, bad thing, depends. But don't blame yourself if your puppy became anxious during their lifetime or like throughout their life, and they weren't at the beginning. So now that you know everything about anxiety, what should you do? You should follow a few easy steps. First of all, make sure that your puppy or your dog, anxious dog, doesn't isn't exposed to triggers all the time. So if they're, afraid of strangers, please do not invite strangers in the house if you're not desensitizing them to strangers. If they're afraid of the car, do not take them on car journeys unless they are, trained to be tolerating the car. And make sure they sleep enough. This is a hill I'm willing to die on, my God. But like, make sure they are sleeping enough. Like, dogs need to sleep at least 14 to 16 hours a day. If your dog is not deeply sleeping, please make sure you create a safe space in the house away from all their triggers where they can deep sleep. And the third, or I don't know, fourth, last thing I'm going to tell you is consult a dog behaviorist or a dog trainer behaviorist, or and a a veterinary clinician. Like, just make sure you go to professionals to give you some advice around this, and maybe in case they tell you it's the case, do give them behavioral meds. Do give your dog behavioral meds. Don't be the person who's like, no, my dog doesn't need meds. Oh no, but I'm afraid they're not gonna, ever get off of them. Who cares? Even if they don't get off of them, they will live a much better life. If, of course, these professionals told you it's the case with your dog. So again, consult them and see what is best for your dog. But it's, something I struggled with as well as a person, anxiety. And I have to tell you the difference between being very, very anxious and the difference and between that, sorry, and not having anxiety or having lower levels of anxiety can change your life. It can truly change your life. And so, yeah, don't be that skeptical about meds. They might need them and they will be very, very grateful, and you will see a change in their welfare, in their, general levels of well being. You will love it. I can assure you. So, yeah, if your dog is anxious or you think your dog is anxious, let's talk. You can DM me, comment, or send me an email. I'm always available. And as per usual, there's always a one on one free consultation. It doesn't have to lead to any dog training. I can help you find another dog trainer if you want, a dog behaviorist, or anyone in your area if you don't want to do dog training online. You might not even need one, So, in general, uh, please do reach out if you're unsure. I'm here for that. So, as always, keep showing up for your dog, keep cheering each other up because dog parents really need that. And always, always, always assume good intentions. Bye there.